So I've just had rest day at Mount Hotham. Just get out to Bright yesterday. Nice brunch, get some supplies, get a few things for the couple I walked with for a few days. They needed some gaiters and socks and things like that because the gear had worn out. Helped them out a bit. So today, leaving Hotham, it was very nice to stay the night. Some hot showers, nice hot bath, wash everything, have a heater. It's very nice. So today I'm off to Riders Yards. So across to Mount Lock, Derrick Hut, down to Dibbins Hut, and back up the other side and across the high plains. So relatively easy walking to kind of get back into it, which is good because my pack weighs a bloody ton. I reckon I've got 7 days of food in there, maybe even 8 with emergency stuff, which is handy because I found out there's some planned burns that are supposed to be happening on the actual alpine track that I didn't know about before I left. So I might have to hole up for a day or two, and where the burns are happening is actually like the border of the burn area is actually about 100 meters away from where one of my food drops is. So got my fingers crossed it's still there, and that nothing happens to it. Otherwise might take some serious logistical replanning, but that's to worry about in about a week or so. I'll keep an eye on things, check reception as I get closer, see what's happening. Otherwise I might just have to hitch a lift into Benambra or Omeo, get some supplies of sorts, and then try and get another lift up to Buenba Huts sort of area. And failing that, just catch a bus and train back to Melbourne, and then get a lift with Jacinta up to Thredbo next weekend and finish the walk from there. Come back and do the missing section another time. Be a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. The place is on fire. It's hardly like I can walk through it. We'll see. It was beautifully sunny this morning when I left. You can see kind of over there, the sun's out at Hotham Heights, and further on, down at the General where I stayed. Up here it's bloody freezing. I had to get the wind shirt out, the jacket on sort of thing. It's going to be a nice day today, but it's just this cloud blowing up from the valley. Needs to burn off. Nice day of walking today. Nice and simple. Good tracks. There's a bit of a climb out of Kabungra Gap, but nothing compared to the last few days over the Barry Mountains. It's a nice walking track too, rather than stupidly steep, fire tracks and dozer tracks and things like that. Anyway, that's all for now. So, I'm just about to drop down to Dibbins Hut. See the snow plane down there. It's a beautiful spot. I'm going to have an early lunch. And I'm going to walk up the other side. Always fun. But compared to what I've done the last week, I don't think it's going to be too bad at all. But, famous last words. Just past I think it's a track, like a counter. See how many people are walking this track. There it is, Dibbins Hut, just down there. It's a beautiful spot to camp. I've stayed here once or twice before. It's a bit frosty though. That's kind of the climb, which after the last couple of weeks actually kind of looks nice. Believe it or not. Yeah, there's the hut up there. It's not nice to stay in. It's pretty run down, but in a storm it might be nice. So just heading across the high plains now. Just left pole 333, just there. There's also a random pack, an open pack that's been left there. I'm hoping it's someone that's just nicked up, I don't know, probably gone up Mount Jim, or they've grabbed their dunny bag and tried to find somewhere discreet. I wouldn't want to be stuck up here without my pack. If the weather turns, it gets pretty bleak. But I'm just dropping down to Cope Saddle now, and then from there it's about a K to Riders Yards, so 6.5 Ks to go. We'll make it a 22K day. It's just a beautiful day for walking. There's barely even a breeze, just enough to cool down. Nice clear skies. Enjoy it while it lasts. So this ground's really easy to cover Ks on, and it's beautiful at the same time. I haven't seen any brumbies yet. There's often, from memory, a little herd of brumbies that hangs around this part of the hills. Seen them here a few times before. If I play my cards right, I've only got one real proper big climbing day left. Maybe 2 tops. Depends how far I get tomorrow. Because I'm going to skip Johnny's top. I've heard that the scrub on the other side of it is a pain in the ass, but also that is the area that is slated for potential planned burn in the next couple of days. So, you know, it may have to kind of pick up my food drop, do a road bash, pick up a forestry track, or maybe even just try and hitch a lift. Depends what happens, whether they actually set it off or not. God, my food drop might be a pile of melted plastic. Who knows? Depends which way the wind blows. So, just leaving Riders Yards. Looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day. Very, very dewy overnight. Tent was bloody soaked with condensation and dew. Just another one of those things. But this is a really nice spot. If I'd had an extra hour up my sleeve, I would have stayed and let the tent dry in the sun. But I want to push as far as I can today. Make the most of the nice weather. The relatively flat walking. But anyway, here's Riders Yards. Good little spot. The sunrise was pretty cool. So a lot of the walking today is pretty flat, or flat-ish. Head out back to, you can just see it through there, Cope Saddle Hut, then cut across to the High Plains Road, then down past Wallace's hut, then along the aqueduct, cut across to Mount Nels, then to Roper's hut. And depending on what time I get there, I'll see what I do next. Hopefully I'll make it down to Big River, and if I'm going well and feeling strong, I might even try and push back up the other side. I'll make it a really long day, but I'll make tomorrow a lot shorter and easier. The aim is to get to Mount Will's hut tomorrow night, because the weather's supposed to start to turn a little bit and get really windy. It'd be nice to have a night, well, last night, actually up on a mountain for quite a while. I think basically until I'm Thredbo. It's the last big peak for a while. I found out that planned burn has closed the Alpine Walking Track, so there's a big diversion in place. Adds about an extra 6 Ks. But it also kind of works a little bit in my favour too, because it spits you out on that diversion I was going to take to avoid Johnny's top anyway. So, not too bad. Still amazed that so far on this entire walk, I've only seen 2 snakes and one of them was dead. I would have thought with the sun out like this and water around and there's insects around, frogs and mice and things. They'd be everywhere. Nope. Only one I've seen that was alive was down at Thompson River. But now that I've said that, guarantee I'll see about 5 today. This is one of the aqueduct trails. There's a fair bit of this sort of walking today, which makes it pretty easy to cover ground quickly. The ground's pretty hard underfoot, which isn't always the nicest. Especially my left Achilles has been a bit of a pain at the moment. I think all that climbing through the Barry Mountains followed by a rest day kind of, I don't know, I kind of rolled that ankle a little bit too on one of those days, so just taking a little while to recover. Just walking along the Bogong High Plains at the moment, just past Mount Nels, and a turn off to the Grey Hills. I was going to push for Big River tonight, but it's already after 2 o'clock. I'm just not really feeling it. There's no way I want to get to the bottom and then have to do that river crossing as the sun's setting and it's getting dark. With any luck, I'll get Roper's Hut to myself. It is beautiful up here. That's Bogong over there. Just a little bit of cloud around. Not looking forward to going up that spur to kind of that end of it tomorrow, but it is what it is. Yeah, pretty sure out to the side here might be Mount Wills, which I was going to try and make it to tomorrow, but it might end up being the day after now. Done about 20 something Ks already. I think that's just kind of why I'm just feeling a bit pooped. It's also second day after a rest. I always find the second day of hiking is the hardest. Day one, you've still got a bit of energy and enthusiasm from resting. Day two is just like, oh, here we go again. And by day 3, you're trying to settle into the routine a bit. So yeah, a couple more Ks today. So I'm just leaving Roper's Hut this morning. Bit of a frost overnight, as you can see over there. Beautiful little spot. Had a fire last night, hut to myself. It's kind of nice not to have to pack up a tent this morning. So heading off down to starting off dropping down to Big River and straight back up the other side, then down the long spur to Big River Saddle. If I make it there by 2:30, 3 o'clock and I'm not absolutely knackered, I might try and push for Mount Will's Hut, which is about another 4 or 5 Ks along the track. We'll see how we go, because it's already 20 Ks to Big River Saddle. Which make it a pretty bloody big day. Anyway, let's see what happens. Beautiful day today. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So it's two days before the weather starts to set in a bit. So I'd like to be kind of out of the higher mountains by then. So down here at Big River, this is the crossing. You can see the chain. Looks like it's actually flowing pretty quickly today. There's all that rain that came through between Easter and last weekend. Well, the weekend is gone, but the one before. A lot of the creeks and stuff up high are flowing pretty well, really. So it looks almost waist deep in the middle there. So I'm gonna strip off my boots and get really cold. So there's a long spur, Mount Wills. That's going over that tomorrow. Bogong High Plains back over there. I'm almost at the top of T-Spur. It's taken about an hour and a half to get here. Past that kind of rocky knob on the way up, or whatever it's called. Smashing it so far, but legs are starting to get a bit sore. It's what, 700 meters of climbing so far. Just pretty decent. All right, keep going. So I'm just walking down Long Spur now. At the moment, this is a really nice walk. Just kind of twisting in and out of these snow gums. Great views. Heading towards an area I haven't walked pretty much anywhere between here and Canberra now, which is interesting. So everything's new to me now. I'd walked a fair bit of parts of the track already up to now. I've got a feeling that might be part of the reason why, and I struggled a bit yesterday in terms of headspace. Just bored. Yeah, I've been up on the high plains quite a few times. This is a lot more interesting. I absolutely smashed the climb up before from Big River. Pretty happy with how long it took me. Clearly there's a bit of trail fitness going on because the pack's still pretty heavy. I filled up with pretty much as much water as I can carry back at Madison's hut site, because it just might save me having to find water tonight at Big River Saddle. Apparently there's some there, it's at half a k from the campsite, but you know what, it's not that bad. Most of today is descending, so don't mind carrying an extra couple of kilos over what I normally would. And then I'll fill up again at Mount Will's tank tomorrow. Probably do the same thing, carry as much as I possibly can. That way I can do a dry camp down at Sunnyside, have a short day, then smash out the 20 something k's through to Taylor's Crossing. Apparently the two people I walked with for a couple of days earlier on managed to get a lift from South Selwyn, just off South Selwyn on Twins track, all the way to Mount Hotham. Saved himself a good 30-40 k's of walking, 2 days worth on some pretty boring track, to be honest. They're having a rest day at Hotham today. They're going to get the gross weather over the next couple of days as they go across the high plains. So yeah, it is what it is. Apparently it's supposed to potentially snow this weekend. I'm happy I'll be back down in the valleys. I done something to my left quad coming up from Big River, or maybe it was going down. I had slipped at one point. Just feels a little bit tweaky. About 3.5 k's into the Long Spur now, and what do you know? Picnic bench. Guess that is a sign it's lunchtime. I haven't done one of these for a little while. This is day 3 out of Hotham, so that makes it what, day 17 or 18? Can't remember. So I left Hotham on Monday morning, walked across to Mount Lock, then down to Dibbon's Hut, up onto the high plains, then across to Ryder's Yards, camped there for the night. Tuesday, walked from Dibbon's all the way through to Roper's Hut. Had that to myself last night, which was really nice. Got a fire going. Yeah, very relaxing. Nice not to have to set up the tent, and not have to pack up a wet tent. And then today I've come across to Big River Saddle, which it's all right. It's not a great campsite, but it'll do. Mount Will's is another kind of 2 hours walk away, which is probably just pushing it a bit because I was getting pretty tired by the end of it. I've done 20 something k's already today, including the big climb out of Big River, which kind of took it out of me. Did it quickly and pretty easily in the end, but still tiring. Today was new after Madison's hut site, which is the turn off to Mount Bogong, coming up from Big River. And yeah, it was pretty good. A little bit boring towards the end, just descending through forest, but here we are. Tomorrow I'm doing a relatively short day. I think it's just 10 k's or so. Climbing up Mount Wills in the morning. I'll probably take it pretty easy. fill up all my water at the top there, because there's a tank apparently, and then I'm going to drop down the other side and stop and camp at a place called Sunnyside for the night. So I'll only do about 10-11 k's tomorrow. So nice easy day. It's good because my left quad and my right ankle are playing up a little bit. Slipped over a few times today, which probably hasn't helped things. There's some very slippery leaves and very slippery bark and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just hoping my tent dries out a bit before I set everything up. But it's going to be dark in about an hour and a bit. So I'll let it dry for about another half an hour and then set everything up for the night before it gets cold. Just climbed up from Big River Saddle, about a K&a-half into the climb up Mount Wills. It's not an easy one. It's done 350 metres of elevation gain in 1.5 k's. That's pretty steep. It's eased off a lot now. It's kind of nice walking here. This kind of just little meadowy sort of things. Got my eyes open for snakes today. I saw, pretty sure it was a yellow belly black right at the very start of this track. Nearly stood on the damn thing. It's just sitting there in the gutter. Didn't want to go anywhere. Must be too cold. In fact, I was surprised to see it because it's, yeah, I described the weather today as ominous and foreboding. You can see grey skies everywhere. It's windy. But guess that's what you get after 10 days of beautiful sunshine. Had to happen at some point. I'm just glad I'm going to be down low for the next week or so, climbing up to, well, low until I get to Thredbo. And by low I mean not on peaks and high plains. I'll take the showers, don't necessarily need snow and sleet. Anyway, it's nice-ish walking up here. Just kind of wish the sun had peeked out a little bit or the wind had died down. Just walking along the kind of fire trail, four-wheel drive track up to Mount Wills now. Apparently, get good views up here. Not today. It's kind of spooky with this mist. Down lower you can hear the trees kind of, some of them rubbing against each other and making all these weird squeaking and kind of grinding noises. It's yeah, a little bit spooky. Atmospheric. Haven't had a day like this for about nearly 2 weeks now. I've had mist and rain, but not just wind and mist. It's not particularly warm up here in the wind either, especially with the cloud and the humidity. Looking forward to getting into the hut, chucking on something warm, having a bit of a break before I drop back down the other side. Just coming down from Mount Wills now. Stopped in the hut for about an hour or so, had some lunch, picked up a heap of water so I can dry camp tonight. It was got bloody cold all of a sudden up there, and now I've just gone over the top of the ridge. It's almost like the sun's come out. It's bizarre, and it's nice to actually be able to see something. Big boulders. I think that's Mount Wills South, just over there, across the saddle. Yeah, amazing how different 5 minutes walk makes it. Anyway, still bloody cold, so I'm going to keep moving to warm up. It's the 20th of April today. It's my birthday. Just walking along the Omeo Highway at the moment, between the turn off to Mount Wills, or Sunnyside where I camped, and the turn off to Gill Creek track. Gonna try and push through to Taylor's Crossing tonight, or today. Camp there tonight. I'm hoping this kind of misty drizzle clears a bit. I can see sun trying to peek through the clouds, so fingers crossed. It's not heavy rain or anything, but it just means the bush is all going to be wet, which is not ideal. Kind of wish it had just one more sunny day, because then I'm basically on roads for a while. I was looking at maps and stuff today, and thinking I'm going to take a bit of a, it's a semi-shortcut, because I was going to skip Johnny's Top anyway, just because I've heard the track coming down it is just atrocious, and the swamp through Buwemba Flats is just gross, and with a bit of rain predicted the next couple of days, it's probably going to be even worse. So I think what I might end up doing is taking, I think it's the Boloka Road, and then actually going up Limestone Road and cutting off a whole corner of the track. It looks kind of like I wouldn't miss too much by doing that. It might save me a couple of Ks, and it's easy walking. So that's my plan for the next couple of days. Even better will be if I get to Taylor's Crossing and I can convince someone, if they're there, to give me a lift around to my food drop. That'd be fantastic, because I can pick that up, resupply, and then just walk out Tablelands Road instead of having to cross Morass Creek. Keep my boots dry, keep my feet dry. That'd be the ideal situation. Anyway, just going to try and smash out the Ks today. Hope I get a bit of reception around lunchtime so I can see if anyone actually cares about my birthday. I'm joking, they do. Had a great card from my partner that I've carried since Hotham this morning, so we'll see what happens. That's all. I'm just walking along the Limestone Road out of Benambra today. Last night was pretty gross. I got into Taylor's Crossing and it was absolutely pouring rain, and I was very much soaked. Had a chat to a guy that was camped there. He was kind enough to give me a lift to pick up my food drop, and then also into Benambra where I got a room at the pub, which is nice. Good way to spend my birthday. Roof over the head, nice fire, damn good Palmer, and a couple of beers. But it's put me about 20 Ks off where the track crosses Benambra Corryong Road, and a lot of that section's closed for burning anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm walking the Limestone Road for about 20 Ks today to the Boloka, I think Log Road turns off. This is kind of like the tip of National Park there, and I'm going to camp there for the night. And then tomorrow I'm going to follow the Buwemba Road and then Mount Hope Road and pick up the track where it joins Mount Hope Road. Hopefully get to either Mount Murphy or Buckwong Hut tomorrow night. So it's a little bit of a sidetrack, but apparently I'm not missing much. That bit coming down from Johnny's Top is just scrub and swamp, and with the amount of rain, crossing Morass Creek wasn't going to be much fun, and going through the swamp would be pretty gross too. So yes, it does mean 40 something Ks of road bash, but in a way it's kind of nice because I've got a full pack. My boots were soaked, so they're hanging out on my pack to dry a bit. I've got the trail shoes on, the feet are loving it. Pack must weigh about 25 kilos. It's got 8 days of food in it, as well as wet boots and gaiters. General store in Benambra, did a good coffee, a really nice egg and bacon muffin thing for breakfast. Would definitely recommend stopping in there. Same for the pub. Probably one of the best palms I've had. Don't know if it was just because of my birthday and I was wet and cold and miserable, but I think it was pretty tasty. It's actual chicken, unlike some of the ones you get at other pubs. So here I am at Wild Dog Flat Campground, which isn't exactly where I was planning to be today, but I was walking the Limestone Creek Road, thinking that it'd take me 2 days to get up this way. Guy, I think his name was Jock or Jocko. He's relative of the Pendergasts, which is a pretty big name up in the Benambra sort of area. There's even mountains and roads and all sorts of stuff named after them. He offered me a lift for about 10 k's or so, which was great. I'd already done about 12 at that point, and it was, I think, 36 or 40-ish k's to where I'd planned to camp for the second night. I was just going to find a spot on the side of the road in the state forest with a creek. Anyway, he gave me a ride, dropped me off, left me, I think I still had 16 k's to get to Limestone Creek at that point. And it was doable. So I started walking, stopped for some lunch, and then another car pulled over. A mother and daughter. I know the daughter's name was Evie. I can't for the life of me remember the mums, which is really bad. They were both very nice. And they offered me a ride because they were driving the Limestone Road all the way to Suggenbuggen, where they have a cabin. And so they were going camping there for, not camping, but having a bit of a girls' week away. And they offered me a ride, which was so nice of them. And they've dropped me off at Wild Dog Flat campground, which is about 3 or 4 k's from Cowombat Track, or Cowombat Track, however you say it. I don't know if I want to imagine a cow crossed with a wombat. It'd be a sight. So yeah, the plan tomorrow will be to walk to Cowombat Flat. So I'm now about 3 days ahead of where I plan to be because I ended up in Benambra last night. I took a bit of a shortcut. I plan to have some short days anyway in this section because I had to take a bit of extra time getting to Thredbo because Jacinda couldn't get there until the Sunday rather than the Saturday. But at the rate I'm going, I reckon I'll be there Wednesday or Thursday. So being a bit early. So what I might do is book into the YHA for a night and try and walk a day or two the other side of Thredbo before they get there, and then they can give me a lift so I get a head start on the section into Canberra. But yeah, I was pretty lucky to score a couple of rides today and still did a decent amount of walking. If the weather was better, I reckon I'd just camp out in one of these spots for a couple of days and just enjoy the environment, but it looks like it's going to be pretty miserable for the next week. But we'll see what happens. I might change my mind. I've got 8 days of food on me, so my pack weighs a bloody ton. But yeah, we'll just see what happens. Maybe I'll spend an extra night up at Cowombat Flat and go and try and find the start of the Murray River, or the survey cairn. Maybe something that not many people could say they've done, so that might be interesting. So I'm here in the tent at Wild Dog Flat, I think it was. It's the head of the Buchan River. Nice little campsite. I'd love to come back here in better weather. It's a bit warmer. Right on the road. Got a dunny and everything and fire pits. Be a beautiful spot to spend a couple of nights with friends. I've just gotten the weather through my little Garmin thing, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty crap this week. Just this misty, foggy, drizzly crap, basically. So I'm not going to have any views. It's supposed to rain from about 4 o'clock tonight, I think, for a few hours. So I'm hoping I get to Cowombat Flat and get the tent up before then. I was planning on having a couple of rest days out here, but if the weather's like this, I think I'm just going to try and push through to Thredbo. I reckon I'll get there on Wednesday afternoon. There's a couple of relatively easy days, and after Cowombat Flat there's a hut each night, so at least if the weather turns I can just kind of chill out in one of those. I think they're pretty rudimentary sort of huts, but I'll take a roof over my head and the possibility of potentially having a fire to warm up. It's not quite what I wanted for the walk, but I did have 10 days of good weather, and I guess now I'm going to get 10 days of crap weather, so it is what it is. And yeah, if I get to Thredbo on Wednesday, I'm going to be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to be there 4 nights before Jacinda even gets there. There's nothing wrong with that. I can just chill out and get a room at the YHA or something, I think, and have a good proper rest. Back on the official Alpine walking track now, after my little diversion through Benambra and up the Limestone Road. It's cut a good 2 days of walking at it, maybe even 3. Partly because I got a lift yesterday, which was very nice. Actually 2 lifts, one short, one a little bit longer. Stayed at Wild Dog Flat. I get it wrong every time. Something like that. Really great campsite just on the Limestone Road. Yeah, so I stayed there the night and walking up to Kowombat Flat. So this is the track, the Kowombat track. Just a bit of a road bash. Not really any views today, just because it's clagged in a bit, just like it has been the last few days. But snow gums look, well, not the snow gums, but the trees look magnificent with their bark and the patterns in these sort of conditions. Everything's a bit damp. It's pretty cold. I think it's a top of 6 today, according to my little Garmin thing, which is a bit crisp. So I'm here at Kowombat or Kowombat Flat. Walked from Native Dog Flat. Finally got it right. Campsite, about 20 k's today. Smashed it out in just over 4 hours. It's pretty good. A bit of elevation gain and loss, but nothing too serious. And all on kind of 4-wheel drive, like good 4-wheel drive track as well. I was trying to beat the rain, but it started absolutely pissing down about half an hour, not even half an hour before I got to the campsite. And so I had to set up the tent and everything in the pouring rain. Got absolutely soaked, bloody cold. I reckon the temperature at the moment's only probably about 3 or 4 degrees. And the rain has been constant for about the last hour and a half. So, I reckon this would be an amazing place in good weather. Big open flat with the mountains around you. And the start of the Murray River is, a couple of k's from here. And the point where the Victoria-New South Wales border turns into that straight line down to Cape Howe is pretty much from within a couple of k's of here as well. So tomorrow I'll cross the Murray and I'll be in New South Wales, which is pretty cool. A relatively easy day tomorrow. I think it's only 17 k's, just to tin mine huts. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit later so I can go to the loo without having to put on a wet raincoat and stuff. But so it's getting to close to 6 o'clock now, and it's finally lightening off with the rain. So it's 4 hours of constant rain and a bit. And it got really heavy for a while there, while I was walking. Anyway, I'm about to have dinner and then probably go to bed. Not much else to do. Camped here at Kowombat or Kowombat, I don't know, however you want to say it. Flat last night. Well, I should say yesterday. I got here at about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and it was absolutely pissing down with rain. So I'm actually having a look around now because the sun's kind of come out. It's part of a plane that crashed here nearly 70 years ago now, I think. But this is the flat itself. Just down the bottom of the hill there is the Murray River. About 5 k's from where it starts, which is kind of up that way a little bit. Not on this track, but on the other side of the river. There's one that goes up there. It's actually a really nice spot. I'd love to stay here for a couple of days in good weather and explore. There's a bit more plane wreckage, just kind of up the hill, up that way a little bit. Might have a little squiz at it now. And then I'm going to pack up. Just thought I'd put things out and wait a little bit today because late start, just because the sun's actually decided to pop itself out and might dry a few things from yesterday because I got absolutely soaked. Here's the rest of the plane that's up here. Haven't seen any brumbies yet, although apparently they're pretty common around here. Maybe they've been trapping them. Bumped into a couple of guys yesterday driving in or driving out of the road from here back to Omeo, that do pig trapping for parks. And they'd been up here and found 20 something wild pigs in traps, and so they dispatched them. Anyway, there's a bit more of the plain. It's not a huge amount here, but I reckon they've just left the bits that were too big to carry out. I can't imagine having a plane crash here, but looking at the mountains, it's probably the best spot for it. It's a very remote area. It's about 55 k's from Benambra by road. And apparently these guys that crashed the plane walked out injured. So up there's like a fenced area. I think it's like a revegetation sort of thing to see the impact the brumbies are having, because this is the Murray River. Normally people get a photo with 1 foot on each bank, but I've got a feeling with all that rain I had last night, it's actually flowing a fair bit more than usual. So it's the Murray River. We're currently in Victoria. One big step. How muddy is this? That's very muddy over there. Ooh, there's a rock. And I'm in New South Wales. There we go. Bye, Victoria. Hello, New South Wales. It's funny, this is a wilderness area, so they don't mark the Alpine Walking Track, which goes down the Pilot Creek Trail, but they put a bloody massive sign saying it's the Pilot Creek Trail. Go figure. Anyway, if you follow that one up for a bit, there's a walking track, I think about 2 or 3 k's up, and that heads to the start, the very beginning of the Murray River at Indi Springs. There's a big cairn up there where the border between New South Wales and Victoria turns into that dead straight line. So I think I'll come back another time. It's easy, you can drive pretty much just an easy day walk from here, camp out a night and then go visit that another time. If I hadn't gotten absolutely soaked and the weather was looking better for the week, I probably would have gone up there. But my main mission today is just to stay warm, because I'm wearing wet clothes and I want to get to tin mine huts, because A, it's a roof over my head and dry out a bit, and it's a fireplace, so I can get something going there and warm up. So yeah, about 17 k's today, which sort of, it's a bit of climbing. You got up on that ridge over there, up that way somewhere. But once that's done, it's just undulating fire trail. So nice semi-chill day, and with any luck this sun will break through again like it did before. That'd make me pretty happy, so I could dry out a bit more and try and steam myself dry. Yeah, first lot of brumbies I've seen that aren't just at a campground or dead in a stream. Got 4 or 5 of them just in their little foal as well. There you go. They're a pest, but they're also very majestic. It's a shame. This is a real kind of struggle, because they're pretty cool to see, but also understand how much damage they do to the environment. Yeah, I remember as a kid, there used to be a show on TV called the Silver Brumby, I think it was, based on some books. Kind of Just romanticise the lives of the Brumbies up here. Yeah, there's 4 of them in there. Bumped into a guy this morning. He ended up camping at Coombat Flat too. He walked in this way yesterday in the rain. And so there's heaps of Brumbies everywhere north of Canberra, heading towards Canberra, which is a shame. It's not too bad from here to Thredbo, but just everywhere once you head further north, past the ski resorts. This is kind of like the old Man from Snowy River sort of territory too. The guy I got a lift from coming up from Benambra. His family used to run cattle up here, occasionally all the way through to Jindabyne from Benambra. So it's that 80, 90 k's through the mountains on these same sort of tracks. Back when cattle grazing was okay up here in the mountains. I'm sorry for being out of breath, but just climbed 400 meters of elevation in about 2 k's, 3 k's. Snow gum trail. I kind of wish there was a view, because out to my right is the Pilot and the Little Pilot. All I can see is trees and clouds. Haven't really had a day with views since I came down Long Spur off Bogong. There's a little bit coming down Mount Wills. That was it. Just been clagged in for 4 or 5 days now and not really going anywhere. 2 of those days were super rainy. The others have just been kind of this misty, drizzly. It's not awful, but it's not greatest weather. But in here, everything's wet. Gave up on dry boots day 1. Back coming up the Thompson, from the Thompson River in Walhalla. Boots got wet on day 1. I haven't been dry since. My trail shoes are dry though. So if the sun comes out and the tracks stay like this, I put the trail shoes on and fang it all the way to Canberra. So I stayed at Tin Mine Huts last night. That's what I've woken up to this morning. Bloody windy last night. I think this is day 3 of this misty, cloudiness. It's actually quite a good campsite. Like, the hut is comfortable enough, kept me out of the wind, and I wouldn't say it was raining last night, but just this constant misty drizzle. There's about 50 meters down that way is a river. Not yet know it today. And there's a dunny up there somewhere, which is quite handy. It's good to have a fire going last night. It's kind of nice. Just I'm gonna take my time today. I'm only going to Cascade Hut, 16 k's, all on, you know, kind of management track. So I reckon it's 3.5, 4 hours walk tops. The Garmin, when I checked it yesterday, said the weather today was supposed to be partly sunny. So, and it is only like 7:30 in the morning. So, with any luck, this might burn off a little bit, but I don't have my hopes up. A beautiful spot. Be a great campsite and nice weather. But unfortunately, I'm missing a lot of the spectacular views. Yesterday there was the Pilot, and even down at Coombat Flat in the rain the other day. Pretty good views there. It's actually quite windy and cold today with this mist, so not much fun. Yeah. Anyway, this is the inside of the hut where I stayed. Pretty basic, but there we go. Put a bit of light on it. Slept on a little stretcher thing. It's good to hang stuff up. I mean, my socks aren't dry, my boots aren't dry, but don't know if that's ever going to happen again. It's pretty hard getting the fire going last night because of this mist. Everything's just wet. But anyway, I'm going to filter some more water. and then I reckon I'm going to go back to bed and read for an hour. I'll have a cuppa. So, walking from Tin Mine Huts up to Cascade Hut today. And yet again, it's clagged in. No views whatsoever. It is kind of cool walking along here. It's nice and easy. And it's dodge the Brumby poo, or just walk straight through it. So much of it there that I reckon every probably footstep has got Brumby poo under it, one way or another. Probably double the distance if I tried to avoid every single bit. It's alright, these boots are going in the bin soon anyway. So yeah, I think that's the Pinch River Valley down there. On the other side of the ridge on the left side is actually the Murray River. So I'm still not actually that far from the Victorian border. Even though I've been in New South Wales this is the second day. I'm basically running parallel to the border, just a couple of k's in. Yeah, it's I'm going to use that word again, it's atmospheric today. I'd love to be able to see a bit more, but it's cold, it's misty drizzle, there's a bit of wind around today too. So, and I've actually got the gloves on today and a warm layer. I think it's pretty much the first day I've had to wear that for a while, pretty much since Bawbaw, just because it's so damp. Still wearing shorts though. It's the Tassie hiker in me. Also helps, I can't feel part of my right knee, so hey, doesn't matter if that gets cold, does it? Just spotted a Brumby up here on the track. Means there's probably more around. Saw about 4 before. There's a little foal. Yeah, there's a few more further down. Little guy's seen me. Don't particularly want to get run down by horses, so let's let them go on their merry way. Oh, looks like I'm following them. Oh, it's weather, I'm sick of it. Now it's raining. Today was supposed to be partly cloudy. My ass. I'm about 3 k's out from Cascade Hut, and finally I can see more than 20 meters in front of me. Been walking through clag, that misty stuff, basically for 2 days straight. Good 30 k's or so. All of a sudden, I can actually see things again. So I guess I'm about 12, 13 k's from Thredbo now. It's funny, like, compared to the Victorian mountains near the ski resorts, I don't feel particularly alpine. Like Victoria, the tops are really exposed heading into, you know, Hotham and falls. I guess past Thredbo that kind of happens. It's just very different. Thredbo's in a valley. So I'm at Cascade Hut this afternoon. Walked about 16 k's in from Tin Mine Huts. I'm going to spend the night here. Just been out collecting water, and firewood and stuff. Get a fire going in about an hour or so. Just filtering water as we speak, that's what that sound is. It's a bit of a walk to water from here. Like, it's not far, but it's far enough, and there's a bloody awfully cold wind blowing down in the valley where the water is. So my plan is to try and filter enough now to kind of get me through a fair bit of the afternoon, or even into tomorrow if I can do a couple of bottles. That way I don't have to go down in the cold. Tomorrow I'm going to head into Thredbo, so I think it's about 6 or 7 k's to Dead Horse Gap, bit of a climb, and then I think it's downhill, possibly, to Thredbo, which will be nice. And then fingers crossed I get a bed in the YHA. I'm just going to spend the afternoon kind of chilling. Once I get the fire going, I think it's going to take a bit of TLC because everything's wet as buggery. And there is a firewood supply in the hut, but I prefer to keep that dry for people that rock up here when it's absolutely pissing down with rain and really need it. Although I may use a little bit and just replace it. It dries out before the next person gets here if I have some troubles. Yeah, and then just get my book out and read and chill out this afternoon. So it's day 25 today. I am walking from Cascade Hut into Thredbo. The weather really turned overnight. It hasn't been great for a few days, but the winds have been howling. It was raining and sleeting all night, and it's bloody freezing. It's like I'm actually walking with like 3 layers top and bottom today. I'd almost prefer it was snowing, to be honest, because at least that just kind of blows off you. Can't feel my toes, my boots are soaked, track's underwater. This feels like Mount Baw again, except at least there's a village at the end of it today, so some warmth. Shared the campsite when I stayed in the hut. The school group came in last night. It was good to chat to them, had a bit of a fire. But man, it is cold out here, and if this weather's going to keep up, I've got a feeling I might ditch the walk in Thredbo and finish it another time, because this is miserable. Like, I've done winter walking before, but the thought of another 2 weeks of this with more snow is just kind of like, yeah, I can't dry my gear out. It's too cold. Even with a fire, stuff doesn't dry. And so you get more exposed to this wind just howling through. Just going to try and walk as fast as possible to get warm and out of this wind. Oh, it's like, it's beautiful in its bleakness and harshness, but I'm sure I could do a few days of this, but 2 weeks, there we go, there's a good gust. 2 weeks would be a lot, especially not being able to dry out. I think the forecast for today, I was hearing from someone, is winds of up to 110 k an hour at the Thredbo top station. I think snow above 1500 meters, possibly, which is pretty much what I'm at now. So I may get a bit of snow later on. Oh. But it is damn cold. Looks like I'm gonna get absolutely blasted going down this little valley and across the creek. You can see like the sheets of rain just blasting through there. That's definitely flowing. faster than yesterday. I think I'm nearly at the top of Bob's Ridge now, and it's just started snowing, which is cool. But it's bloody cold out here. At least the snow's drier than the rain. A little bit clearer too. The mist's less up here than it was down the valley. It's kind of somewhere between hail and snow. It's not slushy though, which is nice. So I've just made it to the top of Bob's Ridge, and it was snowing before. I thought I'd press record on this, and I don't think I did. It's pretty nippy, it's blowy. It's 8 k's into Thredbo. Hopefully an hour and a half's walk. It's all downhill from here, give or take. Just past 2 groups of 20 people that are both staying at Cascade Hut tonight. So I'm glad I moved on. I was very tempted to, ride the day out there, but I made the right choice. Got pretty high here. I think it's like 1800 meters-ish. It's pretty much the first time I've seen blue sky in days. The sun's even trying to come out. Amazing. I like how quickly the clouds move through. Just coming down off Bob's Ridge now into the Thredbo Valley. Getting a glimpse of blue sky every now and again, and a little bit of a view out this way, which is nice. Haven't had one of those really for days. Back that way it's just grey. So I'm heading east now, so this weather's coming in from the west. It's nice to actually have a view again. It's been pretty cold and miserable. Worked out before, I've walked about 150 k's ish, just with this cloudy, rainy, misty, gross weather. I'm ready to see the sun again, but I'm gonna have a rest first. My left ankle's just started playing up a little bit today. I was a little bit sore last night. I think I might have slipped a little bit in the mud, and I just tweaked it a little bit. So it's just started to really snow. It's not particularly pleasant to walk in because it's blowing right in my face. It's not soft fluffy snow either. It's that icy kind of wet stinging snow. I've got glasses in my bag, but I don't want to have to stop and get them out. Wow. Talk about a bit of everything weather-wise. I had sun 10 minutes ago. Oh God.